I came to New York in the 50s and I became a fashion designer. I was one of the executive designers at Saks Fifth Avenue. I worked in fashion, and with this kind of work, I was able to, in my way, to support La Mama in those days. I started La Mama for some friends of mine, one who was like a brother, and the other was whom I knew. Those two persons, one was Paul Foster, and one was Fred Leitz. I had no interest in theater whatsoever, but I have always been interested in people. I love people. When we started out, we were in a little basement that could hold about 25 people. As the years progressed, you see, there was a lot of anti-movement against what we were trying to do. It was called entertainment without a license. For that, I went to jail many times, and I was forced to move. But each time that we moved by circumstance, fate. Each place was a little more large, and the plays had to be a little more large to fit that space. So that's what I guess you would call development. From 1974, we have a very large space that we call the Annex that could hold 600 to 800 people audience, which we prefer not to. We use 3/4 of the area to play and 1/4 of the area for public. So the maximum there is $2.99. The actors, I don't audition, I don't put notice up. The word is out that I am going to do something. Whoever wants to get in it, they come, and I pick some people out of there, not auditioning, just looking at them, and we do it. We certainly would like to have a more large space and a way by which to preserve what we have, because for whatever reason, the things that happened in the early 60s, I used to keep in shopping bags. You know, like you go to the supermarket, I put everything in that. And I used to pay storage and put those shopping bags inside. And for having saved them, we now have an archive that starts with 1961. I even have, when Yutaka Higashi did The Golden Bat, I have one of the robes that I saved from that production. I have, you know, traveled with Shuji Terayama in many parts of the world. We had extraordinary adventures together, and I have something from that. I also have things from when the Yugoslavians were here, when Yugoslavia was Yugoslavia. I have things from, plus all of the American things. We are the only ones with the kind of archives that we have that, incidentally, since we were keeping it for us, it also included other things from what is called off-Broadway. Scholars come from every part of the world to study. We wish that we would have a place that at least could offer, rather than 2 persons at a time to study, that more could, because a lot of the material that we have, we can't even let anybody see because we have no place to put it. From the time that, for instance, that Shuji Terayama, Atsuo Nakamura, Keiko Saito came in 1966, we have, and we are proud of that, been the home of the young Japanese artists. I could not imagine how did Atsuo Nakamura ever find me, because we were upstairs over a tailor shop, this is in 1966, hiding from the police, but yet Kiku Saito and Shuji Terayama and Atsuo Nakamura, here they came. How did they find me? I think I'm hidden from everybody. But they did, and that's how it all began. With the Tokyo Kid Brothers, who came in '69, it was here that we made their first beautiful play, and with Yutaka Higoshi, who never stopped coming. And Yutaka, as you know, he was, and I think I can say that, was the one who was most encouraging to young artists in Japan. And he's well remembered here.
You're everybody. You're everybody.
The thing that I would like to stress, and everybody should always remember the Tokyo Kid Brothers, is because even in 1970, there was a lot of hostility where the Japanese were concerned because of the war. The Japanese had been coming to La Mama since '66, for which I was greatly criticized. However, with the Golden Bat, Yutaka conceived of a way by which he went down and the actors went down into the audience after the show, and he got these people to come up on the stage and to dance, to touch one another, to stand next to a Japanese, a whole thing. It broke that thing that was against the Japanese. And from the Golden Bat until this day, the Japanese have been welcome, particularly in the arts. And this came from Yutaka Higashi, the Golden Bat. The composer for that, Itsuro Shimoda, his music, which was incredible, the whole ambiance, the fact that they tried to speak in very broken English, but mainly Japanese, the fact that so many American actors and the like wanted to be with them, wanted to learn with them. And not only did they break that barrier here, we went to Europe and we played in several different parts of Europe. We played in Italy, we played in France, we played in Germany, and everywhere the walls came down. You know, like for one thing, the walls of Berlin was a physical thing, and they literally knocked the stones down. But this barrier that was invisible, but you knew that people did not welcome Japanese, but they traveled the world and down it came. And I must say, with them, you know, was Shuji Terayama, and I was with him too. So it was a glorious feeling, and this great magical kind of way, which was totally different than anything that we were doing here. I believe that people with whom we work and who come to La Mama, I give them respect that they are not going to disrespect us, and that they are free to do their work as they wish to express it, but expressing disrespect or to dehumanize or to be so absolute negative, we are not interested in that kind of person. If you want to call it concept, we are dedicated to try to find ways to communicate our art to any person in any part of the world. We don't believe that English is the beginning and the ending of anything, but we do believe that all languages are beautiful and all parts of performance are beautiful. And by that I mean we should use music and dance, we should use voice, we should use cinema, we should use all of the visual arts, as well as the written word, the text. All of that for us is our theater.
40 years ago, 1970 summer, I came to New York for the first time to perform the show called Golden Bat. At the end of the show, as I extended my hands toward the audience, I sent a message. There is no boundary here. Let's hold our arms together. This horizon line is only our boundary line. I invited the audience to the stage. They all rushed to the stage, holding our hands, arms, and bodies. When I noticed, we were all dancing together on the stage. Later, Ellen Stewart said, this was the first time that Japanese and New Yorkers held their hands together.
For all of the Japanese, it's so many that have been here. My beloved, Setsu Asakura and for Koba Abe, I cannot begin to name. It has been so many for all of the Japanese that are here with me right this moment. I thank you for your contribution that you've made to what we try to do. It is wonderful, really wonderful. I think La Mama is very blessed by the Japanese. Thank you. The one thing that I ask with everybody that participates at La Mama is to remember the community. So if you make art that only you can understand, that only your country can understand, it's not art. A person who paints, a person who creates sculpture, or who makes visual things, everybody in the world can love and appreciate that. Yes. But for the person who can only speak, and he can only speak in his language, and if you don't understand his language, you don't understand him. That's not very right. So you have to find ways to communicate through visuals, through music, through art, dance, your voice, your vocals, so that you communicate with the world. The world is not just one country. The world is all the countries.
第19回高松宮殿下記念世界文化賞の授賞式典が東京の明治記念館で行われました。演劇映像部門はエレン・スチュワートさん、ニューヨークのラ・ママ実験劇場の主催者です。授賞式の後の祝宴で受賞者たちは常陸宮様と懇談し、受賞の喜びをかみしめていました。
Ellen Stewart is a visionary. She's a maverick. She's a goddess. She is everything. And this is why we're here, because of her, in terms of La Mama. And we're dedicated to keep her legacy going.
She would often say, if my friends from China come here and don't understand your play, you're not connecting. You're not delivering the goods. You have to find a way, whether it's with a puppet, a dance, a slide projection, a video, whether it's a chant or a language, a change in languages. You have to find a way to communicate the idea. You had the civil rights movements, you had feminism rearing its head, you had the gay movement, you also had the Vietnam War. There were no real commercial places where you could voice the concerns of the artists and the playwrights who were involved in all of these causes. And so suddenly La Mama became a haven for all of these unpublished and unrecognized and very talented but unsupported artists.
Our program is a large part of our programming is international art, which our government does not support. It supports it, but it doesn't give it any money for it. So we have to come up with private funding. That has led most theaters to not be able to bring over international art. Well, we can't afford it either, but we do it anyway, because Ellen believes that theater is not just American or just Japanese. It's important that your artists mingle and that you talk. Giving artists a place to work is what La Mama is. But Ellen is our mama. And together, she convinces us that we can do magic. And we do.
エレン、東さんとか他のみんなと仲良くやってますか？そっちでいっぱい芝居やってますか？ミュージカルやってますか？僕はあなたに一度しかお会いしませんでした。たった一度しか会えなかったけど、あなたの大きさとか愛の深さを感じました。昔、東さんとその仲間がニューヨーク行った時、助けてくれてありがとうございました。あなたのおかげで東京キッドブラザーズは光が当たりました。そのおかげで僕もキッドに憧れて役者になろうと思って、なんとか今も役者やってます。そういう芝居を愛する人たちが山ほど、日本にも世界にも山ほどいて、アメリカにもいて、みんなエレンのお世話になったと思います。本当にありがとう。僕はまだこっちでもう少し弾けてみようと思いますが、いつかそっち行った時には僕も使ってください。ラ・ママで芝居やりたかったです。悔しいです。エレン、本当にありがとう。
こんにちは。今日エレンを偲ぶ会に俺も参加して、みんなでエレンのことを言ってるのを聞いていたかったなと思ってたんですが、なんか都合悪くなっちゃってどうもすみません。エレンっていう人は、俺はアメリカの肝っ玉母さんっていう感じかな。海のもんとも山のもんとも分かんないような俺たちが突然ニューヨーク行って、まあよく面倒を見てくれたなって本当に今思っても すごいことだなと思ってます。そうね、エレンが一番印象的だったのは、東さんの忍ぶ会を伊豆でやった時に、体が悪いのにわざわざニューヨークから来てくれた。あの伊豆のすごい田舎に。あの時に本当に、ああ東さんのこと好きだったんだなって確認しましたね。で一番最後にエレンを見たのは2年ほど前の早稲田になんかラ・ママのこととか世界の演劇のことを報告会みたいなのがあって、それを聞きに行ったのが俺は最後でしたね。でまあ日本の演劇とかパフォーマンスをやってるような人たちを本当にたくさん面倒を見てくれたんだなってつくづく思います。だからきっと今頃あっちの世界でまた同じようなことやってくれるんだろうなって期待してます。
Open up your celestial map and take off to northwest. Open up